You've tuned in to Bellingham Podcast Media for the week of August 27, 2017, episode 48. From the city by the Salish Sea, I am AJ Barce.
And from the northwest of the Northwest, I am Chris Powell. On this episode, we've had fun in the sun this summer, but as the temperature cools and the blue skies turn to gray, you know what we turn to for fun? Use your cranium for this one. It's games, both board and video. We'll open the community chest of venues and tell you about some new places you might take a chance on. It's much more than Professor Plum in the library with a candlestick. It's an operation. AJ and I believe it's worth the risk. Sorry for all the puns. It's what I do. Hey, Player One, get ready to insert coin. This is BPM.
Ernest Cline would be so proud of you, Mr. Powell.
Who's Ernest Cline?
The author of Ready Player One?
Oh, yes. Book and movie that's coming out.
Yeah, movie, and also master of all 80s and 90s references next to Chris Powell. How you doing?
I'm glad to be here once again. Number 48, not quite a prime number, but it still is nice.
Yeah, it is.
How are you doing, AJ?
Doing good. At the top of the show, I just want to take care of some housekeeping. First of all, if you are tuning into this 48th episode of BPM, or Bellingham Podcast, from this day forward, you will notice that the feed changed and we got some new album art. It just says Bellingham Podcast Media. We dropped the tech, but we've done some subtle changes. Cleaned up the site a little bit, and I have to apologize to my Android Google Play downloaders. The way that Google requires things, I had to cancel our feed and resubmit it. So I greatly apologize if your feed went dark and you had to go re-find us. For everybody else, iTunes land and Stitcher land and Spreaker land and SoundCloud land and YouTube land, we're on a lot of lands, including KMRE 102.3 FM. Low power, the land of Bellingham, Washington. So Chris and I, we're still going to cover the same topics and stuff. We just shorten some things, make it easier to find us if you search for us. And we're going to hit on all of the culture, the news and views here in the city of subdued excitement.
One of the views that we have around town is games. I had no idea because I'm not much of a gamer. I mean, I'll play some cribbage and I'll play some rummy cube.
I have it on good authority, Mr. Powell. You are a bad mamma jamma when it comes to a hand of cribbage.
Yes. Along those lines, you might see me attending a nonprofit benefit later in the summer. I believe the Whatcom Dispute Resolution Center has an annual cribbage tournament down in Boundary Bay.
Yeah.
I've had some fun and a modicum of success in the past couple of years, but it's a really good place. If you're for card games, check that out.
That makes you a gamer. You game.
I am a gamer, but there is still a little bit of a visual image as you talk about gamer. Now, we're talking about board games and video games.
Yeah.
Now, around Bellingham, there's a scene. A scene, if you will. I mean it. A scene.
A scene growing.
One of the scenes, there's some growing. Yes, there's actually a new kid in town for games, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's start with board games first.
Yeah.
Okay. So over on Magnolia Street in the downtown district, there is a Rook in Rogue board game pub, and taken from the website, they are, quote, Bellingham's first board game pub. Great idea. Combine a couple things that you normally would do at your house with friends, but go out and about and be among other people. Downtown open daily for lunch and dinner, and they have, and I quote, geeky-themed food, beer, wine, and cocktails.
Hee-hee.
It's an equation for awesome.
Yes.
So in addition to just showing up, dropping in, and having an assortment of board games to choose from, they have membership options available to you. The one tier of membership is called the Rook, which is a hobbyist membership. And the other one is a Rogue, which is a Grail, I guess, according to their website. You can pay monthly or annually if you are a serious gamer and want to have access to maybe more involved, detailed, perhaps more expensive games they have available. And I believe, so my brother-in-law has become a member of Rick and Rogue, and no conflict of interest. He just happened to share it with me. But anyway.
Full disclosures.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And so you get a chance to maybe get a discount on some food or drinks, and you get a chance to get access to more impressive games.
So is this more of along the same vein of like tabletop gaming, like Chutes and Ladders, or like more adult gaming like Settlers of Catan? Do you know?
I would imagine, since it's a family type atmosphere in which you can get a drink if you want, they probably would have those games. I haven't gotten eyes on to see if my favorite game, Candyland, is available there.
Really?
Or not. Nope. But
Never knew.
It's a little known fact. So
I get it.
After 48 episodes, you get to know me a little bit. But basically, check it out. It's downtown. It used to be, I believe, in the Porta Subs downtown used to be in that building that Rick and Roll currently occupies, and it's right in the heart of Bellingham. So give it a try. What other game places are you want to talk about, AJ?
So there's another one called Dark Tower Games, and it's in the downtown corridor. They do weekly Magic tournaments. That's Magic the Gathering. If you remember back in the day of Wizards of the Coast, still alive and thriving. Matter of fact, when I was in Japan, fun fact, when I was in Japan, I looked for a Japanese pack of Magic the Gathering for my brother-in-law because he is a tournament player.
Yes.
And so Dark Tower Games does that. They also do live streaming Twitch TV. So Twitch is think of it like YouTube for gamers. So you actually you stream other people play video games, but it's like watching a movie. Like these guys and gals that are Twitch streamers, they play almost fluidly, and it's spectator sport, really.
Right.
So they do that, and then Friday nights at 6 p.m. there's a board game night.
Let's talk about video games for the next bit. Now, there's a new kid in town. When we talk about video games, there's a new business coming online, no pun intended, in the near future. Happened to be walking along Railroad Avenue with my lovely wife recently. Looked over to my left at one of the businesses, and I saw a ton of fully upright arcade old school video games.
Please define a ton.
A big room full of, like the kind that you would normally find in an 80s arcade.
Okay, so Flynn's from Tron.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
I believe this is called the Ruckus Room. Thank you very much. Ruckus Room Arcade and Fun Center. Families that don't want to go to a brew fest every weekend in Bellingham. Are you ready? You got your fix. Ladies and gentlemen, check out Ruckus, RUCKUSBHAM, BHAM.com, Ruckus BHAM for their website. Or if you're on the Twitter, at Ruckus BHAM, will give you their updates. I happened to check their Twitter feed before we recorded just to see what's going on. They're given progress as they approach the official grand opening date. They have a ton of video games. This is a way to channel your inner middle schooler or high schooler or elementary school kidder, depending on when you were around. And I don't know if it's going to be coin operated or how they're going to work this, but I am so looking forward to playing some Defender again.
Nice.
And that was my game of choice when I was growing up. But Ruckus Room Arcade and Fun Center on Railroad Avenue, kind of sandwiched between Cafe Adagio, one of the best coffee joints in town, and Casa Que Pasa, Bellingham's best place to get a potato burrito.
A potato burrito.
All right. What else is coming up for video games, or what else is available?
Yeah, so for video games, we also have, if you're on the south side of town, getting away from the city central here, over in Fairhaven, you may have heard of McKinsey Alley. It's right next...
it's near Rustic Coffee Shop, and it's across the street from Skylarks, and I believe it's right in that heart, McKinsey Alley, just kind of walk around. Skylarks and Rustic, you'll be in the right place.
I was totally just going to go with Rustic. As you can tell, most of our landmarks, Chris, are usually based off of coffee houses.
Absolutely, because we are evolved Bellinghamsters. Yeah. Please continue.
Anyway, it's called Best Buds Gaming Lounge. And they specialize in classic video games and, quote, frag your friends. Okay.
Well, actually, I kind of put that one in there in our show notes, but it's a great way to frag your friends.
Okay.
At Best Buds Gaming Lounge. No charge, guys, if you want to use that as a tagline.
That would be good. So don't tag your friends on Facebook, but you frag your friends at Best Buds.
See, this is no charge, right? Someone hire us. We got all the hooks and all the shtick.
Okay. So for this one, because of the nature of this lounge, it's a video gaming lounge where they have consoles, old school consoles, going all the way back retro to Atari 2600 all the way forward. I wanted to kind of hit the Bellingham beat on this one. You and I, as young as we are at heart, we're also up there in age. So I reached out to two students up at Western Washington University who are geek and gamers.
Hi, Western.
Sup, Western. And I wanted to get their take on this because as we did this, when we were putting the show together, like you and I, we could talk about all this in the tech aspect and all that other jazz we normally do. But in this case, I wanted to get the aspect of why is this community thriving? On the show today, I have two students and fellow geeks from here in Bellingham, Washington. I've got Caleb and Joggy. Hey guys, can you tell me a little bit about yourselves and what you do?
Well, we're students, computer science students, and for a living, I guess we work at the STC, the Student Technology Center.
At Western Washington University.
Okay, so when you guys aren't either studying or you're working, what do you guys do for fun in town?
In town, I don't know. Well, in town for me recently was downtown, so I was downtown for a while, and then I just moved into Fairhaven. And Fairhaven, I feel, has the I don't know. There's a lot of old people there, a lot of rich old people.
Rich old people. Okay.
So there's not much to do. But place did just open up called Best Buds.
Ooh,
not too long ago.
That kind of goes in with the theme of the show about gaming. Tell me more. What's cool about Best Buds?
Best Buds, I don't know. I feel like the coolest guy there, the coolest part of the place is Hugh. Hugh owns the place.
Sup, Hugh?
He just opened up not too long ago. And he's just starting to get things running. It seems like it's his dream to like open up a console gaming lounge, and that's what this place is. They have like hundreds. Like I think they have like over 1,600 games at this point.
Wait, 1,600?
1,600 games.
Whoa!
On all kinds of consoles too, right? Not just the newest.
Not just Xbox One, like PS4. They have like Atari 2600 stuff. Sweet. GameCube, Super Smash Bros. Like everything you could possibly imagine, possibly want.
Cool. And is there like a monthly charge to go to this place, or how does this place work?
Yeah, I think they're doing a sale right now for it's just opening up. I think it's $30 a month. They're ramping that up to $45 later on. But if you just want to go for a day or so, I think it's $10 for a day, $5 for an hour, and on top of that, if you are a monthly member, you get 10% off of all of the drinks and all of the food. So there's some perks. You get reservations for gaming tables. That sort of thing.
Cool. Is there any other kind of like you said they do a lot of console stuff? Is there any like what is that, tabletop or any of that type of stuff at this place?
Yeah. They have there's a place actually right across from them. That's a I guess comic book store and tabletop gaming place that you can go in and rent stuff. And you can go right across the street, grab something, bring it over, and play right on their tables. Yeah.
What does this type of place appeal to you guys? Like, I mean, why go to this place as opposed to like, I don't know, down to Archer's Ale House in Fairhaven or Aslan? I mean, why this place?
I mean, I don't want to call it nerd culture.
Oh, you totally can't be around me, dude.
But that's exactly
this is a geek safe environment.
That's exactly what it is. It's it's comfortable. You go in and you play all day. I'm pretty sure it's free to be there after 8 p.m. They kick out everyone under 18.
Oh, okay.
And they just have a really amazing events all the time. Like
they have Game of Thrones nights every Sunday as it's currently airing, so you can go and watch Game of Thrones with a bunch of other people and kind of have like an environment where everyone's cheering for the characters, and it's just really cool to have people around you who are sort of into the same things you are.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the other cool things they do is like Smash tournaments. They have old school Smash tournaments where I saw them link up like eight different TVs with like GameCubes and stuff, and have like 8 different people playing for a Smash tournament that lasted like hours. Sweet. And it was the coolest. It was like it was one of the coolest things I've seen.
Sweet. Okay, so is this the only kind of place like this in town, or is there any other places like this that you guys frequent?
And there's some board games places like that in town. Downtown, I think there's one. But this is the only console gaming lounge in Bellingham, and the only one that I've been to.
That's
honestly.
Cool. All right, guys, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, now I am impressed.
So I want to take the last bit that Caleb talked about. Comfortability.
Yes.
Like that is the big thing. Like if you're a geek or a gamer, okay, sometimes you don't like we talk about introvert versus extrovert. Sometimes going to your local pub, you don't feel like you fit in. And so it is really cool to see Bellingham grow and foster this subculture of geek and gamers, giving us a place to go and have fun and feel welcomed and comfortable.
I think that's important, not just from a gaming standpoint, but just from a human standpoint.
Yeah.
How many times have we gone to a place that we know, even though that we're going to have our friends there and we're going to have libations and appetizers and foodies and whatever the heck we're going there for, not the most comfy, cushy seats.
No.
Not the most breathable environment. For just allowing yourself to simply be kind of like your home. Mm-hmm. It sounds like Best Buds is taking your living room and bringing it into the heart of Fairhaven. Yeah. So good on them. Nothing but success for this gaming lounge. We might actually have to think about recording there sometime. Yeah. Subtle hint. But anyway, so we got downtown in Fairhaven. Now I'm going to default to you on this one. Okay. So up in the Sunset area.
Yep, heading north-ish again.
There's another game joint around. Tell me about what's going on with Reset Games.
So I put this in a whole other category because it's not really video gaming and it is not tabletop gaming. It is pinball wizardry.
Yes.
And pinball is my game. I love pinball. And there is a place, I've mentioned them before on the show. It is Reset Games Arcade Edition. So there's Reset Games where you can buy used classic consoles and games and contemporary games as well. Right next door, they also have Reset Games Arcade Edition, where it is a pinball parlor.
Perfect.
And video game parlor. I mean, it is like a miniature Flynn's, not as big as Tron's.
All right.
But anyway, what's cool about them, and also another one that we're going to talk about in a second, they host IFPA, International Flipper Pinball Association tournaments. And so what's cool about it is that the next the last big tournament they held was July 16th, but they do bi-weekly tournaments, and the next round is August 27th. So if you are a pinball wizard or you want to see how good you are with pinball, $5
to test your metal.
Test your metal.
There you go.
$5 buy-in, and it's 100% payout.
$5 buy-in.
Yep.
So, and about how long do these tournaments last?
They can last a little while. At the next venue that we're going to talk about in a second, I did participate in the big tournament last year. Okay. And it was an all-day affair. And people from as far south as the southern tip of Washington to all the way up to Vancouver came to Bellingham for this tournament to play in this payout.
All right. So this is a way to have some additional extended fun on the weekend or even a weeknight when the weather is not as nice as we've had it and you want to go indoors for a while.
Yeah. But no, I love Reset Games and I love Reset Games Arcade Edition. They have some great tables. Matter of fact, Star Trek Next Generation, just saying, it's there. It's just a great thing. Like pinball is one of those things where it's funny. A lot of people don't get pinball, but there's a story behind it. Like every table has its own story, and you accrue points based off of the certain targets, and that expands the table, and that's where all those lights and sounds come from. It's not just you hit a piece of metal ball with some flappers. Like there is some strategy to it and some skill, and it's really cool.
And it's a great way to level the playing field, if you will, because not everyone is 6'3" and 250 pounds and can bench press blah de blah. A person not as tall as yours truly can totally wipe the floor with me with some hand-eye coordination and some good skill. Yep. In playing pinball. So what a great way. Oh, by the way, single guys out there, pretty fun date night opportunity
totally
for that.
Is.
I mean, we're married.
Dude, no, my wife loves coming with me.
There you go. So should you want another opportunity for a date night, Reset Games Arcade Edition in Sunset, Best Buds Gaming Lounge, if the gal or person you're dating happens to enjoy playing games.
More console, yeah.
Yeah, or Rook and Rogue board game pub. But yeah, so Reset Games. Now, what was this other place you were alluding to?
So the other one, going back into the downtown, but I wanted to put it in the pinball category, is the Racket Bar and Pinball Lounge.
Yes.
So same shtick as kind of Reset Games Arcade Edition. These guys are either owned or very close to the Shakedown
on State Street.
On State Street. They also are IFPA. They host their tournaments as well. The next tournament is August 20th. And again, same thing, $5 buy-in and 100% payout. And it is establishment is a 21 and up establishment, if I recall.
Sure.
So you do have to be over the age to participate there. But just if pinball is just one of those things that's just, I don't know, maybe it was my inner kid in the 80s where I loved Tron, and I just love the idea that pinball is the great neutralizer when it comes to video games. Absolutely. Because I've seen an 8-year-old wipe the floor with me on one of my favorite tables, and he was, I won't even say an ace, he was a sniper with those paddles on a table that I've played for years, and it's just very cool. Young, old, male, female, doesn't matter. Pinball is a great neutralizer when it comes to gaming.
By the way, if you happen to have relatives coming up for a visit to Bellingham and you really don't know what to do with them,
try this out.
There you go. Pinball. Any age can play. All it takes is 2 fingers, one on each hand, and bang, 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 bang. Have a bunch of fun.
Word. So the last but not least part of this is in geek and gamer culture. Chris and I just wanted to throw in comics, because it kind of falls in the same category as gamers and geeks and stuff. And so comics, there's a couple of places in Bellingham that you can get your comic fix if you don't want to game, or you don't want to participate in video gaming. Maybe reading is more up your alley.
And you're a visual literary aficionado.
I love that.
Thank you very much. No charge.
So there's I'm going to go with Comics Place on Holly Street. They're kind of the place that I usually go to for my comic fix. They have great back catalogs. They've got current stuff. They also get trade paperbacks. So if you want to get the compendiums, yours truly likes the old Tomb Raider volumes, which are really cool. But yeah, take a look at the Comics Place on Holly Street if you're a visual literary aficionado.
That's right. And so there's another place on Cornwall Street. For all of you that happen to know about Bellingham High School, across the street, there is Cosmic Comics. And I went there with some family friends at one time. It was actually about a year or two ago in September. Why do I know this? You'll find out in a second. We went there on National Comic Book Day.
Yep.
And it's a great way to, they had a great supply. Once again, just like the two dudes from Western said, it's a comfortable environment.
Yeah.
You definitely don't have a bouncer in front of the door with arms folded looking for your ID. Right. You enjoy, browse, take a look around. Lots to choose from. Little known fact, did you know that my favorite comic, AJ, is Darkhawk?
I believe you mentioned that to me, but I forgot. So I'm going to say no.
Yeah, play along like you don't know. Anyway, what's Darkhawk comic, you might ask, Chris? Well, I'll tell you. Turns out that it's a lesser-known Marvel comic character, but something happened to his parents, and he turned into this, Marvel superhero type. The protagonist, the main character's name is not Tony Stark. No, it's Chris Powell.
Hey!
And so Darkhawk, once I found out that my name was actually a hero for a comic book, I got the first 4 issues. So anyway, big a fan of that, most definitely. But yeah, check out Cosmic Comics also on Cornwall Street, I believe, across from Bellingham High School.
Totally. Yeah, so comics, again, like it's part of the fuel that is the geek and gamer culture. You mentioned that you went to Cosmic Comics on National Comic Book Day, which happens to be September 25th of every year.
I knew it was around September at one time, but yeah, it's coming up soon. And
yeah.
I think with National Comic Book Day, correct me if I'm wrong, AJ, people get to choose from a selection a free comic book to take home.
Yeah, there's usually a lot of the publishers, they do like a special edition for that day, which is really cool. And also in Bellingham, if you're around in October, I think it's mid to late October, there is actually a Bellingham Comic-Con.
Excellent. We'll probably be talking about that as the fall season approaches.
Yeah.
So right now we're at this part of the show where we got tech that caught our eye.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about some new kind of features in technology that we found fairly useful. Since I did the theme and I came up with the theme, I'm going to go first. So some tech that caught my eye. There's an app that I use on a regular basis. And if you're in Bellingham, this kind of alludes to something we talked about last podcast about the parking situation from our Unscripted Insights. In lieu of having our own permit, which is a great idea in a lot of cases, there's an app called Pay by Phone. It's iOS and Android compatible in your various app stores, whatever phone you got. But basically, downtown Bellingham in the core, you may see these green signs with numbers on them.
Yeah.
By using Pay by Phone, it's a mobile solution for Bellingham parking meters. You don't have to bring quarters with you or fish around in your change container to be able to feed the meter when you're going downtown for shopping or eating or partying. One of the things that I like about this app is I'm able to put all of my family's vehicles on this app associated with my account. I can install the app on my wife's phone, and bang, she has the same capability as well. It's tied in with the credit card, and if you want, and there's no cash required, but if you are having reservations about giving this app your credit card, why not go to a convenience store or a drugstore and get a prepaid $25 Visa card? Basically, it's about $1 an hour plus a little bit of a convenience fee, because who wants to carry around change? And so once you do that, you can set up minutes or hours, and it'll charge your card for that. The best part about it is you get a nice gentle reminder as your time is about to expire. That's helpful, because I don't always want to have that splinter in my mind that says, am I going to get a ticket if my meter's up? If you are still enjoying your dinner and don't want to leave just yet, reach into your purse, whip out your phone, get your app, and then you can tap additional time to your fee. Be another charge, and a modest charge, but you don't have to run out to feed the meter in a pouring rain environment. So Pay by Phone app for downtown Bellingham parking and elsewhere. So how about you, AJ?
Mine is, be surprised, it revolves around watches.
Go figure.
So I stumbled upon this because I was doing some open heart surgery on one of my watches. I was losing...
Whoa. Hold on. What?
So our SKX 007.
Yes.
My daily watch that I love.
Open heart surgery?
Yes. So I cracked the back on my watch.
This is a watch.
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
So there is, when you open up a watch and you, mechanical watch, and you see this thing that goes back and forth, it's called a balance wheel. A watch reference, if it's on the face of a dial, if you can see it from the where you have your hands and stuff, it's typically referred to as an open heart. So
I learned something every time I listen to you.
So I was making a pun. This was me trying to be like you, Chris. I was trying to make a pun. So anyway, I was trying to do open heart surgery, air quotes here, and because I was losing a lot of time on our watch, Chris. Like I was losing in excess of 30 seconds a day, and that's how mechanicals can be. So anyway, I did some looking, and I found this great app called Tool Watch app, or you can go to their website, toolwatch.io. And what's cool about it is they are a Swiss website. So, the Swiss know their watches and that type of thing. What's cool about this is, and I'm pulling from their website, quote, the most convenient way to measure the accuracy of your mechanical watch. Now, what's cool about this is you basically take a dipstick reading, as it were. You kind of like with my other reference to watches.
Yes.
What you do is you sync up this app to the seconds as it ticks to your 12 o'clock. The 12 marker. You wait 12 hours, and as it syncs back up to that wherever you're at in that 12 hour, it will compute how much time you've gained or lost in a day. So when I did this, I was minus almost 29.8 seconds a day. And I did it a couple of times. So I did it across a couple of days, make sure it wasn't an anomaly. And so I busted out my watchmaking tools, cracked it open, and very gently moved this very small point on your balance wheel that gains more time. And I got it what's called regulated. I got it regulated to basically plus or minus 3 seconds a day.
Warren G would be proud.
Yep. So it is tack on the dot, and I'm not late to meetings now.
That's a good thing.
Take a look at it. Like I said, the one thing I want to point out to this, especially if you're a new watch aficionado, maybe you listen to me or you
like me
or like Chris. or maybe you've worn some, watched, read some things on Worn and Round or Hodinkee. When you regulate a watch, it's more like a dipstick. Don't think of this as a speedometer. You don't want to be timing it every day to see, do I need to re-regulate it? No. Your mechanical watch is going to be in a variance. You just want that variance tight so that you're not on extremes. So if you do this, use it gradually.
You don't check your weight on the bathroom scale every hour.
Thank you. I knew you would have an analogy.
Of course. And you check every now and then just to see how your progress is going.
Exactly.
Very good. All right. So, thanks to Caleb and Joggy's interview, we are getting close to wrapping this thing up. Let's talk about Unscripted Insights next podcast. What do you say?
That sounds good.
I got one for you.
Okay. I have one for you as well.
All right. Well, but the thing is, next podcast, you're not going to be expecting it.
Oh, well, I don't think you'll be expecting mine either.
Anyway, our thanks to Caleb and Joggy for their great comments about the Best Buds Gaming Lounge. And that'll wrap it up for this edition of Bellingham Podcast. Tune in on your podcast method of choice, whether it be your default podcast on your phone or Spreaker.com or SoundCloud, or golly, we say this every episode. You should have it memorized by now. Thanks once again for tuning in to us also on KMRE 102.3 FM. Hit it, JJ.
Low power.
Community radio here in the city of subdued excitement in Bellingham, Washington. From 98226, I am Chris Powell.
And from the city by the Salish Sea, I'm proud of you, Chris.
Thank you.
I'm AJ Barsay. We will see you next week.